The first step for this assessment was deciding on a brief, which didn't take long. My process for deciding was mainly writing out exactly what each brief was asking of me, organized into key points, current problems, what is required of me, obstacles and the target audience of the brief. Once I had done this, I analyzed my own strengths and weaknesses through a SWOT analysis, to see if my strengths and weaknesses lined up with any of the briefs nicely. Also considering the time frame, and of course personal interest. Filtered through these criteria, I decided on the Purina brief. This brief was the one that immediately struck my interest, as I am surrounded by pet owners, and live with some. Additionally, I really felt like there was room for improvement, or at least modernizing, within the existing Purina brands. The next step was to carry out in-depth research. This started with a look at Purina itself and how it has developed over the years. Purina began in 1894 as one of the first companies to sell food to animals. I researched the packaging changes of Purina in depth, but I will only outline the key changes and packaging trends in this presentation. The next key development was in the 1970s when Purina created a high-protein food called Hi-Pro. This also marked a trend in Purina branding where they started utilizing photography heavily in packaging designs. This trend continues through until their modern packaging. However, in 2012 they rebranded to their newest packaging, which includes a lot of diversification for different breeds, flavors and so on. Next I researched the specific Purina product ranges and how they use color to differentiate. This was a very important realization when coming up with my own packaging designs. I also researched mail orders and how they operate, finding cereal which was instrumental in forming my ideas. Then I did research to try to narrow down a target audience, settling on millennials due to their compassion, and that the workforce and pet ownership levels in this demographic is highest. The next step was to create initial mind maps and mood boards to generate and organize ideas, which I am showing you a sample of now. The first brainstorm was very simple in hindsight, but I suppose that is the point, just trying to consolidate my ideas and start making sense of the brief. Next I created a series of mind maps where I laid out my ideas so far, and started drawing connections between the different ideas. With branding I had 3 initial ideas, that I categorized based on keywords or styles: premium, natural and pedigree. However, I would quickly move on to new ideas when I moved onto the packaging mind map, as I came up with an idea I quite liked, and would base the brand around. That is, modeling the branding and packaging off cereal packaging, as what better way to show premium for dog food than to model it after something we as people eat. Then I created a brainstorm of all the words I thought I could use as part of a brand name. I then took these words and separated them into names I thought would fit the brand. I settled on the name Pug Nugs as I thought it fit both the cereal theme and millennial mindset perfectly. At this time I also made the creative decision to focus on only kibble or dry dog food, as it would make more sense with the branding direction I was headed. With the basic ideas down, I moved on to creating mood boards for how I wanted the brand to look at this stage. I created mood boards for packaging, general branding and a cereal mood board for inspiration. These mood boards, especially the branding one, do not reflect the finished product, but it is the direction I was headed at this stage. At this stage I also made a lot of sketches for initial ideas, mainly I created sketches for the packaging and how that would look. Here you can see the packaging sketches and then me refining them digitally to look more how I wanted. At this stage I was starting to get a clear idea of the direction I wanted to go, and so I went back and refined my brainstorms and mind maps. Next I took an iterative design process to finalize my logo idea, settling on a custom typeface based off playbill, with removed serifs, rounded corners, and subtle negative space elements. I took this same process with my packaging, coming up with a working prototype at this stage. However, further refinements were immediately necessary. I softened the lighting and refined the colors to make a far softer look, which I was pleased with. Then I added the packaging information, made the information panels darker, and integrated the information with the background. I came up with a solution to an ongoing problem: how to show what dog size each product is for. The solution was each dog type had one linked primary and secondary color, primary for non-diet, secondary for diet. Also, the picture on the box was changed to a silhouette of a different sized dog, and the side of the box would now show the dog size and whether it's diet or not. This was the final round of revisions that went into the project. The only thing left to do was create all the final mockups and die cuts, which wasn't a problem as I was very conscious of what my packaging designs would look like in the 3D space all along.